pool for the summer, like in exchange for friendship. Has someone seen that one?
No, I have not seen that. Have you seen that, Danny?
I'm not.
But that sounds kind of crazy. So based on what you have, you get a friendship.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like supposed to be like sarcastic or not, but like people be like, "Who wants to be my friend for this summer? I'm the pool friend," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Okay, so then if you have a pool, then I can go over there, and then based on that, I can be friends. Like, we can be friends.
Just for summer.
Interesting. Huh. I feel like even though that example in particular is very weird, I feel like we kind of all do that. Like, based on what someone has, we want them close or we offer them friendship. Like, if that person likes, no, if that person is, I don't know, like very charismatic, and they like have that quality, then I'm gonna offer them my friendship. Like, I'm gonna consider them like valuable to me, and like I want them to be close. Like, based on what they have, then that's how I'm gonna like define them. I feel like we all kind of do that.
I mean, that depends how you look at it. I feel like most people can pick and choose their friends based off what they don't and don't have. Because, like, how you said, a friend could be very charismatic. And I know people that, like, their friends, like, their friend group is based off stuff that they don't have. That makes sense. Like,
but usually there are some like things that they have in common.
Yeah, there will be a few things that they have in common, but they usually look for, like, sometimes, not all the time. A lot of people that look for a friend and, like, in somebody that they can give them something that they don't have, whether it
like
be material. Yeah,
other.
like, exactly. Whether it be in the material or whether it be in, I don't know, in the personal sense. But that sometimes tends to happen where people will go looking for that. And then, pick and choose.
And I feel like it's much more bigger than friendships. Like I feel like our society has this thing, like, if you have like a desirable quality, then you're already deemed as a more valuable person. And we see this like with like job applications. Like, we can look at it like that. Like, when you go apply for a job, there are many applicants, and the employer is going to look at whichever one has the most desirable quality, like to fit their like what they want for their organization. So based on what you have, that's how much more value I'm gonna give you.
Yeah, that we live in a world where that doesn't even just happen in jobs. I feel like that just happens in general.
Yeah.
I think we value too much of what we can see on the outside, and that goes for even like personal, like personality qualities. Like, we sometimes see too much on the outside, and that's how we kind of like place value on people.
Yeah.
Because like there's like this old, not an old saying, but like there's like you can see it on Instagram, you can see it on different types of social media, where it'd be like, a poor person is the type to have a nice car, and then a rich person is the type to have a old type of car, like a really old car that probably doesn't look like it works. But because we can't see that rich person's finances, we're automatically thinking that they're not worth anything compared to the person that owns a nice little rich car. So, yeah, we kind of suck when we do that.
Yeah, because we give value to people based on like their qualities, but now, like you're saying, based on their possessions. Like, if, like you were saying, if they have a nice car, then that person's much more successful. They are much more, what's another word that we could use there? Besides success, sometimes we even say, like, just because they have a nice car, that they're nice people. Like, our minds go there too. And like, if they have like do they say like raggedy car, like something like it barely works, and they were like, oh no, I don't really want to talk to that person. Like,
I don't want to ride from them.
Yeah, right? And maybe they're the safest person. They're safer than the person with the nice car, but we already judge based on whatever possessions they have, based on the nice car, the nice house. And unfortunately, our society too, like now with fashion, because social media obviously shows, like, promotes a lot of different fashion trends and all that. And I feel like the whole world is like connected on that, not like before social media, where I think it was just like magazines. Wow. Yeah. if there are any old people watching this, sorry, we're not from that generation. But my point is, like social media like promotes all of those fashion trends, and so if someone does not have like the, I don't know, if someone, let's put it like this, if someone's not wearing like the baggy jeans with like the baggy shirts and like the nice, I don't know, Jordans, then I don't want to talk to them because they're probably not a nice person. Like, we might make that judgment, not out loud, we might just make it in our heads, but that's how we are valuing people.
Or like we don't want to be seen with them. Like, oh no, like I dress like this, they dress like that. Like, what are people gonna think of me like hanging with these people?
Yeah.
Now I got a question for y'all both. It's gonna be a random question. What kind of car do you drive?
Toyota.
What kind of car do you drive?
A Hyundai Elantra.
What year?
2014.
2012.
Why don't you question it? Anyways.
She's not very sure.
Almost forgot my line of questioning. All right. Now my question to you is, based off your car, what does that tell me about you?
And I used to think about it like, oh no, I want like a nice car. And then I think like a car is just to take me from point A to B. I honestly do not care.
The reason why I asked that question is because that goes back to our whole point that a lot of us are measured by what we have on the outside. And to some people, what you have is what you are. That's in the material sense.
Yeah.
That's in the material sense. But the reason why that I want to point that out is because in my opinion, or not in my opinion, from my knowledge, that statement can be true, but it also can be false. Because you are what you have, but you're not. Because both y'all just said y'all own pretty basic cars. I'm pretty sure that doesn't make you pretty basic people.
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So
you're not basic. Though.
It doesn't make you pretty basic people. But then again, now let's take it to.
What's your car, Danny?
I drive a 2015
basic.
Toyota Camry.
No, just kidding. Just kidding.
It is pretty basic, not gonna lie. Everybody wants a Toyota, but your car or your house or your clothes or your phone or your social media followers doesn't make you who you are, but what you do have does make you who you are, but not the material, what's on inside. So
yeah, and this is something that Danae was talking to us, and I wanted you to like share it with the audience.
The phrase that I came across was that instead of you are what you have, it's more of you are what you give. And like that truly made me think, because it's like, what are we giving? Like, very like causes you to self.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like it can. I want to touch on a very important point here. We talked about how like sometimes we value people based on their possessions, but also on like what specific qualities they have. But we also value people on like what accomplishments they have. In terms of the timeline that society has set. Like, for example, we're all young adults here. We all graduated high school, and so we're all doing our own thing now. But society has this sort of standard where, I don't know, at 20-something you should be married, at 20-something you should already have graduated for college if you went to college. At 20-something you should have your own apartment. Maybe almost at 30, like late 20s, you should already have your first child. Like, there's like this timeline too. And then if you haven't achieved that during that specific timeline that society set, then you're nobody, or you're nothing, or you're behind. Yeah. And it's so crazy that some of us like fall into the trap of believing that lie, and we don't understand that it's just that. It's just a lie. Like,
we fall into the cycle.
Yeah. And like, we don't understand that that's not what gives us worth. Our possessions don't give us worth. And that might be a little bit easier to understand, but our accomplishments don't give us worth either. And not even like our like specific qualities. Like, that's not what gives us worth. It's what we give, like you said. Like, if whenever like we're like giving that love, we're giving that kindness, like we are reflecting God's design. We're reflecting God's image, and He is the one that gives us worth. Like just because we were designed by Him, we're valuable, and that's it. And that's really hard to understand for many, many people.
I think like,
including myself.
The way I put it is like how you said, you are what you give, and what we give is what we've been given. Right? We all have the fruit of the spirits, but some fruits are stronger in others than they are. I said that backwards. Some fruits are stronger in some than they are in others, right? Some people are more patient. Some people are more loving. Some people are more kind. Some people are more joyful. And that's really the measure of who you are. Because I'd rather be remembered as somebody who was either patient or joyful or whatever than a person who was rich. Anyways.
But that would be rich in the spirit.
That would be rich in the spirit. That's why it's important to let people know you are what you have, but not what you own. Because even what you own, you don't even own it in the long run. Mm-hmm. It's not even yours.
Yeah. Because everything comes from God. Let's make that clear.
Exactly. Because even if I'm a joyful person, that was still given to me by God.
That's true. Yeah. So I feel like here, like, even if you're not giving like all of those fruits of the Spirit, we are still valuable because we were created by God. Mm-hmm. And so what we should strive to give is just reflecting like just God's image in everything we do. And of course, regardless if we do that, we're still valuable. Like in God's eyes, we're all, we're all the same. We are loved the same, like with that same strong love, because we were all designed with the same love, and intention. But we shouldn't strive then to make us more valuable or like here on earth based on our possessions, but rather just show off what we already are. Just like we're just valuable. It shouldn't be a competition there.
I've seen this. I don't know if you guys have, and it's like treat people, and it's like it's really interesting because like even if they don't recognize that Jesus died for them, like wow, like He loves me that much.
You should recognize them.
You know that, and like you should treat them like wow, they have value in Jesus' eyes. Not that big.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good, and it's hard because like. Even myself, like sometimes I might look at someone and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm being super vulnerable here. Like, oh my God, they're like almost like 40 years old, never married. Like they didn't even go to college. Like, and I'll like act like that'll be like my thoughts. And I'm like, what am I thinking? Like who invented that you needed to be married at this age and go to college? Like there's other people that choose a different route, and that's fine. Like who invented that? And like I catch myself because I'm being vulnerable here. I've judged based on what people have, and it's very hard to view people like Jesus died for them. Like that does not define them. That does not define their worth. And we need to like make ourselves conscious of this. Literally. At least for me, I'm going to say every day.
I don't know. I'm pretty nonchalant when it comes to people. I could care less what they do. I'm going to be honest. That's just my personal opinion because I feel like, again, like if you don't know the person, right, I think that's when you can truly have an opinion. And even then, you can't have an opinion on the person because we are just as flawed as they are. Mm-hmm. It's like, we all talk, we all know this Bible verse. A bad tree cannot produce good fruit. Mm-hmm. So I can't judge a tree by its leaf. I can only judge it by its fruit. Mm-hmm. And the only way I get to that fruit is if I get close to the tree. So that's about it, man. What did we learn today, kids?
Well, we're not what we have. Definitely. We are all valuable in God's eyes. And we need to remember that for ourselves, but also whenever we are looking at other people. That's hard.